Very well. We, if I can speak from my, as a member of this committee, from my opinion and my experience, I'm starting to see that if indeed if we want to yield to the idea that signs aren't the way, one part of my mind goes to some signs that we pass all the time that have a certain thing called speed limit on it. People don't read signs a lot, but we keep putting those things up. And it's because we operate on the basis that people understand that for society to move forward and to live together, that some of those signs are obeyed most of the time. And that's how speed limit signs work. So one would assume, applying that logic to the reason we continue to still put speed limit signs up on new roads, would be that if we were to recognize the concerns of the employees, and as the mayor has explained in that League of Municipalities legal opinion, that we do have, as a council, the right to put those signs on our building, it is our decision, that we'd be putting that sign up there not as a physical productive barrier, but as a sign that would rely on people's respect for the way society works, and that what that sign means is it expresses in a few words the desire for a peaceful environment of the employees, and the desire for those employees to strike a balance recognizing a person's ability to have that concealed weapon, yet a person's ability to yield that in respect for a person who's in a position doing a job. And so, my one reminder would be that this is a decision that we have. It is within our authority to put those signs up or not. If I had the opportunity to vote, I would say my opinion then. But one final thing that comes to my mind, simply as a member of this committee, is that whenever I think of issues of violence, and if there are people that want to do violence, it's going to happen. Perhaps the thing that we should all be, perhaps not concealed carry, we should all be open carrying is peace. I think that peace would be a weapon in the ability to shake a person's hand, to look them in the eye, to ask them their name, to say, I disagree with you, here's what I think about the issue, what do you think about it? That would be the non-weapon weapon that we would carry with us everywhere we go. And so that's a conversation I've had with my constituents, and so that's why I'm bringing it forward, besides my right as a member here to bring forward my personal opinions on things, but also I'm bringing forward something that is direct conversation I've had with my constituents, is the idea that we seem to be in a season of people being fearful of others carrying openly or concealed. That's an issue of law and constitution. But there's an issue that they brought forward that isn't of law or constitution, it's of humanity, and that's of carrying peace wherever you go. And that theoretically could eliminate the need for weapons. And some might say that's a dream world. But I would argue if it's possible for a person to do violence and we have the capability to do peace, I'd say there's an equal chance either way. So we could expect peace out of people rather than walking around expecting violence out of people. So it's really based on our expectations and what weapon we carry with us. And perhaps, as I said, the weapon of peace is the weapon we would like to carry. That would conclude my comments on it as an individual member. But as the chairman here, I would ask at this time, is there any motions that any of the members would like to make to either authorize our attorneys to authorize or draft the policy, or to investigate the matter and give us some other type of a presentation? Are there any motions that would like to be brought before us?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to, before I make a motion, I would like to say that on the fact that we had 25 employees for the sign and 13 against the sign, I understand where Julie's coming from here and the rest of them that work in this building. And I think that if we're not going to put a sign up, then we need to have an ordinance changed where the employees, the city employees, if they want to carry a concealed, are able to carry a concealed also. As a fact, because if somebody else can walk in this building with a concealed weapon, then I strongly feel that our employees should be able to have one also.
Thank you for your comment.
Okay.
May I quickly ask Mr. Gresham a question here? At this point on our agenda, it's talking about this concealed carry signs. Am I correct in my understanding that at this point we couldn't have any, would not be allowed to have any motions on allowing the employees or authorizing a redrawing of those, because that item isn't on the agenda, but your comments are important. And if you wish, you may bring that to me and the mayor for addition to another agenda, if that's
Okay.
important to you. And thank you for your
Thank
comments,
you.
as it's important to hear. Mrs. Booth?
This is an issue I don't have a clear-cut opinion on one way or another, because everything that's been said has some merit. It's a hard issue. Above everything else I've heard today, it seems to me most important that our employees are not feeling safe. And I don't think that started with this issue from what I'm hearing, when you talked about a number of years ago.
The last one was at an election,
Okay,
maybe 2 years ago.
so what I'm thinking is, for me, it's become an issue of not whether to have the signs or not, but what do we need to do to make it safer for our employees when we have volatile people coming into the city hall. And I guess that's not on the agenda either, but I would like to see it on a future agenda. I think there are some things, yes, they're gonna cost some money. I have no idea how much, but I think there's some things we can do to make it safer for them. I think that's the issue more than anything else right now.
To add to your comment about making it safer for the employees that are working here, a suggestion could be whoever is an employee and would like to have the concealed carry, but also beyond that, maybe get some training from the police department on self-defense tactics for, I mean, if you have an office, let's say we're all in office, and let's say Luke Boland and Dennis here, if they both had training and carried a weapon and knew how to respond to somebody coming in, would we not feel safer when we're having public hearings and somebody pulls out a weapon on us, if that happened? Or if somebody just walked in out of the blue, and if we knew that they could respond in kind?
This is a whole philosophical question, or a comment away from here. If you're carrying a weapon, you have to be willing to take a life. And I don't think that's something you can just say that any employee or anybody would be trained to do. I mean, that's a whole different area.
I understand.
But I'm saying there are things we can do in this building, to the building.
You're talking about putting up screening techniques and stuff that, I mean, I'm not saying that you would have to employ somebody to man those screening positions to make sure that something would happen if somebody carried something that was not allowed. And I think that would be counterproductive.
No, the things I was thinking of is maybe we need bulletproof glass instead of an open area. Maybe we need some things like that. I'm not talking about extra screening at the doors or patting people down or anything like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about some simple barrier techniques that can be used. But that's that's something that needs to be looked into, that's a future agenda item.
I'd like to call us,
That's
I'd
not
like to call us back,
One
back to
moment.
the agenda on the concealed carry signs item.
Listen, the problem with having like like bulletproof glass and such is that it doesn't stop you from the door of the building to your car. And if somebody is intent on harm to you, they can get you before you even leave your building. And I mean, if you have your concealed carry, you have it on you at all times. While you're in there behind the glass and before you get to your car, you have it on you. You're able to defend yourself.
Okay. Thank you everyone for your discussion. Now, on the concealed carry signs item as listed on the agenda, I'll wait for a few moments, and if I hear any motions, we will go with that. If I don't, we will simply move on to the next item, the Tomah Amtrak Depot. Hearing no motions, we'll have no action at this time on this agenda item. We'll now move on to the Tomah Amtrak Depot.